At the moment, Morningstars is showing us something a little bit interesting. I'm not sure if they're going to move out of it or it's just scouting.
They may not run with it, but we talk a lot about how we expect DPS of KSPs in the roster. We still can't underestimate or undervalue the DPS prowess of Leaf and Hardest. They can still pop off on these heroes, so that they're opting not to, and they're going to go for a mirror composition match. How about the difference being Exoraph on that Ana?
Yeah, and Exoraph has been consistently a good Ana throughout the seasons. Big sleep onto Zilliton on the high ground. This could isolate him.
He jumps onto the hut. They want to contest it, and Team Gigantti, they deflect it for now. They keep him away from that high ground they want to maintain. It does open him up a little bit of space in this initial entrance of point A, and it has to be Hardest leading the charge until he goes into the back line, and there's immediate turn and response from Gigantti. They want to burn out Malzahsa. They boot him away. Prime trip at a time. The old 1-2 switcheroo! Dredro sending Zappis to an early grave when the intent was to do the same to Malzahsa. They have that man advantage. It's about pressing it now. Putting it to them. They move in on that one. There's Malzahsa taking those. Milky Man being dropped out by Dragon Eddie. And Exoraph obviously got that nano boost ready to go. Dragon Eddie's going to clear it up again. The anti comes in. There's more of the boost for the rest of the team. Sleep Dart onto Zappe. So they have a built-in stall to this one. They're waiting as long as they can. Going to give him the stun up. Try and stall him out. Block out anything he has in terms of choking. But Zappe going to contest it. Now they want to go for the momentum play. Immediately move off. Zappe's at 99%. He will return for Transcendence.
He's just spawning now, so they can take a proactive positioning on the point, which is very difficult to do
just going
on Assault Point B.
They just want to take it. Salvo has to Malzahsa's already taken him out, like you said. I think the bubble isolated the barrier, as now Exoraph comes in with that nano boost. Dredro with the Transcendent. They want to rush into this one, keep him off the point, and the Primal Rage should be able to do that from Malzahsa. But the self-destruct from Zappis finds Exoraph. He's taking off the fight. Dredro doesn't have that ult, as Malzahsa takes out Milky Man, and they keep him away. They're trying to go for it so much, but there will be a contest. Zappis gets booped away. He will be able to jump in here with the help of his team. That's David and Facility jumping onto the point, but they can't get through this choke. They want to boot him away. Another teammate comes up, Dragon Eddie. They want to deal with Lil Bo. He can't do it as well. They force him back. It's David who's tip-tapping on the point. He wants to keep it going for them, and they force him back, but he's bought time for Gigantti to come back in. But Morningstars is just dealing with them faster than they can be put out. It's on the brink of being captured for them. This is a done deal. They're going to be grabbed off the point, still contesting it from some miracle. The momentum play for Morningstars comes in big.
That was one of the most insane staggers I've seen in a match. Like, the moment to actually get that stagger out, the 5 second from the sleep dart into excellent use of boots that actually knock him back into the health pack so he doesn't die earlier. And then they just stagger out even more. And Volskaya is one of these maps where the reason why Assault Point B is so difficult to attack here on Volskaya is because it's such a long run to get there. And you are poked out the entire way whilst you're walking in. When it's a 5v6, Team Gigantti can't take that proactive positioning and force you back. Morningstar's able to just plant themselves on the point, root themselves in, and then evict Team Gigantti away from their own point.
Yeah, it was. They had a guillotine set up on a Rube Goldberg machine that was set up perfectly on the egg timer that was the capture of point A. And when that dropped, immediately guillotine. Exoraph, sorry, not Exoraph, Zappe loses his head. They run in, we said, he has the Transcendence, but he's not on the point. They immediately grab and use the lack of healing to just burst through. They commit the nano boost, they commit everything, the sound barrier, and they take him out. And at that point, you're attacking the defensive position.
Yeah, and Zuppe's advantage there, which is that he puts out so much DPS earlier, and obviously with the new patch, increasing the damage of the Orbs of Destruction now, so he does charge quicker. He wasn't there to provide the Transcendence in that fight. So as long as they did it quick, which they did, and it was a risky gamble from Hardest to throw it from such range, but he knew he had to get out early. The fact that they did get out, the risk paid off massively. Now Morningstar's in a great position on Assault, and already this difficulty we see Team Gigantti have on Assault is showing itself.
Now they move onto their offensive run, and Morningstar's still keeping Exoraph on the Ana. A lot of confidence in this pick for them, and it worked out last time, especially when they nano boosted Malzahsa to go in there. Team Gigantti taking the safer of the two routes, going over the awning instead, and will drop down onto the points.
So far, Malzahsa's done his best to try and Tesla cannon, but they're going to go onto the low ground, which doesn't allow as good of a dive. But Malzahsa last time was able to stay alive in these fights for so long just because of the sheer amount of healing Exoraph provides. Now he's taking a high ground positioning. Hopefully we get another one of these big antis to close out the fight.
Dragon Lady's defense matrix might be there to stop any aggression coming in, but it's actually Zappis we need to be more concerned with. If he can eat up that grenade, that's big. It's out of rotation for Morningstars to use. They're just holding on the point for now, but they're giving up a lot of control to Team Gigantti. Slow for them, but they've already got 2 checkpoints. Looking towards to get that final one. Tridd has to move down. There's the nano boost onto Malzassa. They've already lost Lee. As he goes into the back line, Zappe can play around the health pack, but he's getting reinforcements from the team. They collapse in, and it's just Malzassa. The nano boosted animal will find Zappe, but he's lost the point because of it. Bold sacrifices by Morning Stars, but Team Gigantti going to be moving on to point B.
And they were hardly able to even get any ult percentage online there during the defense. 1 minute 20 to take that, 6 minute 43 coming the next point, and so much on the side of Team Gigantti.
Yes.
All 6 ultimates coming up here. No Transcendence because Exaraf was on the Zenyatta. Only hope that Morning Stars have right here is to play split up and hopefully get that sound barrier online, unleash it whilst only a couple of members are locked inside the grab, and then attempt to get more ultimates that way. It's all down to this sound barrier and the graviton out.
Gigantti just have the buffet of ults to use, and they immediately set their sights on Milky Man. There's that grab. They swing through with a fire strike. Milky Man goes big. He finds 4 as he wants to then take out Dragon Eddie on the back line. They have so many options to use to keep alive on this point. They just need to keep hardest away. We're worried about the time bank. They still beat out Morning Star's time.
Okay, guys, so we're just restarting Volsky Industries, basically, from the beginning. We're just going again.
Get a screwdriver in the back of the tape, take it out of the VCR. I know a lot of you are too young to know about tape.
This. Yeah, me too.
Okay, DVD, skip it back. Can we do DVD or are we on YouTube and streaming?
We rewind it.
Okay, we'll talk about Twitch. We'll go for the Twitch VOD rewind, okay?
Oh, dear.
Children, a lot of you.
Millennials, yeah. I think I'm closer to a Gen Z at this point, to be honest with you, but Team Gigantti.
You disgust me.
I'm sorry, okay? I apologize.
90s kids rise up.
I was like just at the bare end of that, but Team Gigantti, oh god, that was one hell of a push coming out from them there, and a lot of it does come down to the fact that Zuppe is not having any of the shenanigans from before. He plays really well around that health pack, which was able to stall him out for so long the first time. So enemy becomes friend in that situation, and being basically the main target for Morning Stars there means that as long as Team Gigantti can hold him in place and keep him alive during that long fight, they're going to get that point. And Morning Stars weren't able to put that much damage into them, so they had no ultimates coming to the next ones, whereas Team Gigantti pushed that one out slowly, although they didn't take it as fast as Morning Stars did. Because they had all the ultimates online to close out a fight quickly point B and not have a long fight there, they're able to come into this next point with more time remaining than Morning Stars.
20 seconds is a negligible difference, but it's enough. It's a difference. That's the important thing. It's the mind games that come into it as well. You think that was fast? Here, hold my beverage. I'm going to go beat you. But like I said, they're jumping on to that Team Gigantti defense first, and they're already contesting that high ground. We got a quick pause coming in. It happens. We're not sure what the reason is, but we'll find out very shortly.
We will.
Let's have a look at the state of the game so far. Like we said, tied series, tied time banks pretty much as we move on to Assault.
It's close.
One attempt, and it does feel as though we're just doing Volskaya Industries all over again. 2 minutes basically shaved off the clock this time. Small enough to get a couple of catches. We could probably see round 3 and 4. They keep going at this rate.
Yeah.
Jumping back into the matchup, though, only a brief delay.
Really good boot from Lilbo there to prevent the aggression from Malzassa onto the high ground. But he goes again, obviously 6 seconds both on the leap and the sound wave there, so he can do that once Lilbo does drop back down again. But so far, Team Gigantti playing it slow, playing it careful, and this seems to be their win condition at the moment, is just to wait out Morning Stars.
Milky Man just emerges from the hut with the Tesla cannon and goes, surprise, feel my thunder, as he just starts damaging everyone on Morning Stars as they try and aggress onto this point very slowly. As the Bardic Grenade coming out, used very defensively just to keep Dragon Eddie alive. There's that Nano Boost coming in. Hardest has already found Milky Man, so this is going to be a very fast take again if they can keep up the momentum. They're playing around the Nano Boost. They do not want to give into this one as he moves towards the Primal Rage, which he'll now be happy to use after he's lost that Nano Boost, but they don't need to use it. They're going to use Hardest Grab instead. They're on the point. Point A capture, very fast. Won't get the same level of stall, but they're looking for the same momentum play.
So you want to close out that fight quickly with the Graviton, but I think they could have slow pushed that in that situation. Now you come into second point, you don't have the big Graviton available. Exaraf makes a switch over to Zenyatta. I completely agree with that one. massively long sight lines for him to use on point B, where he can get that orb of destructions down with the Discord, or apply that onto Milky Man to make sure he falls down quicker. But now Malzahn is looking to use his Primal Rage quickly, maybe force out a couple of ultimates before switching back over to the Rhine to contest
Milky Man's already done that. They don't win this fight, he's going to be behind on the Shatter. Here comes that self-destruct. They go for the reposition. Malzahn is caught in the Graviton Surge, hits his DPI to full. Exoraf still finds Milky Man though, so that advantage, it's all for naught. He's not going to be in this next fight to build up towards it. There's that self-destruct. Going to go down high. Hardest looking to get that Graviton Surge online. They're pressing into Team Gigantti and keeping them in this choke. Starting to get progress on the board, but they have to play slow to get their 6th man back in the fight. Here comes Milky Man, so the charge and the re-engage comes in. The bubble isolates the sound barrier. It's Davin missing out on that one, as well as Zappe and Milky Man. It's Lilbo and Facility who are just going to be gifted that one as Exoraf finds Davin. And there's that D-Mech coming onto the point. Dragon Eddy no longer going to have that one. Transcendence comes out as Malzahn is still alive, close to getting that second primal of the fight after Exoraf burning away. Oh, how do you stay alive, Facility, with the help of your team? That's how. Sliver of HP, but he falls back behind it. Leaf will get the D-Mech on Zappers. Dragon Eddy punches Zappers into submission. There's that second primal raid. There's no Graviton Surge to lock him down this time. He's free to jump around, monkey about, deny the shatter, and he sends him to an early grave. It's Morning Stars looking for a capture. The momentum play is not there, but they're going to send over the high ground. Contest as long as they can. 2 checkpoints so far. Leaf stunned up. Exoraf going down. There's the Transcendence from Zappe for the re-engage. They're going to try and keep this one going for a little bit longer. Blank.
Hardest with the grab, that's the big thing. He's going to try and shut down Davin, but an excellent projected barrier keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Malzahn falling, Facility down, Leaf down as well. This is pretty bad for them.
I think they've done it. They've done enough to stall this one out. There's that self-destruct. Dragon Eddy didn't find any picks, but Zappe's been able to get hardest. The spawn advantage really comes into play for Team Gigantti here. They've deflected Morning Star's attack. They're giving him 2 checkpoints. 1 decisive fight will seal the deal for Morning Stars.
Another bit of an overcommit from Hardest, trying to finish out the fight quickly, but I have to commend the lad. During that entire fight, we saw how cautious he was to use his projected barrier and his self barriers there, more or less to try and keep his team more alive than himself. The projected barrier in situations where it looked like someone might need it, he held onto it for those clutch situations where Team Gigantti went for the big engage. Now Morning Stars, major thing online right now is the Transcendence, which they know can use. Davin just uses Graviton, going to be nowhere near towards it.
Big initiation onto Milky Man. He's just blasted off the map by Malzahn. They just use a battering ram to go in there. Transcendence are used aggressively, knowing that Davin doesn't have that Graviton Surge online to try and win this fight out. They're looking to burn through, but the Transcendence has to come out from Zappe. Zappis does have a self-destruct, uses it to get a faster remake, won't be caught out by this one, and none of Morning Stars are as well, as they use a Graviton Surge to lock up Team Gigantti. They already have 2 checkpoints gained. They just need to get this one done quickly, and Zappis can get off the point. They demech him, not fast enough for the self-destruct to finish him off, but Lilbo gets back to the point to looking for the contest. Davin switched over to the Wreckable, tries to get there, they can't stall him out, so he's going to hook onto the point, but he's forced away. The shadow comes out from Dragon Eddy, he's caught off to the side. There's going to be a counter. Milky Man's burnt out by Leaf as the Discord Orb goes onto him. They're forcing him around, and Morning Stars will get another attempt, assuming Gigantti can finish theirs.
That's really well done from them. The sound barrier into the Transcendence looks really risky, but they know it's their final play at that point. The time bank is wilting away. So sound barrier begins the fight. They have to pick onto Milky Man, follow the Transcendence, which forces it out from Zappe as well. And then it's an interesting turn of events because Zappis knows he has to keep the point going for a little bit longer, self-destruct, and that just opens up for Hardest. And that's the major thing for Hardest' entire game, is how quickly he's building these Gravitons. So you really cannot be getting out of mech ever, because you need to have that diva pressure at all times, otherwise he's going to get free grabs onto everyone and then just clear it up with the help of Malzahn and Dragon Eddy.
So 1 minute 25 now remains for Morning Stars. And Team Gigantti still got about 6 minutes to play with. They can get the momentum into point B this time around. Sets them up nicely to go to series point, and they're 1 step closer to that semi-final against AT, which of course will be the Season 3 finals rematch.
Yeah, and that's what they ideally want, but with Morning Stars making things so difficult right now, that's looking like a far-off avenue to me. Morning Stars, they still have 1 last push should Team Gigantti finish both points, but now Morning Stars know what to expect and can well prepare for this.
You're looking to obviously jump in there when they can, and Not going to have the Ana this time around from Exorash, sticking with the Zenyatta. Same pathing coming in for Team Gigantti.
Yeah, they know they have to stick Exoraft on the Zenyatta. Should they lose this fight quickly, they want to be able to have that security and insurance that they will have the Transcendence available for the next fight on point B to block out Davin's Graviton, which was so instrumental.
And they look at the stun up, Milky Man, but it's Malzahsa who drops down first. This is disastrous until Leaf comes in and saves the day, throws the life raft out at sea, and keeps Morningstars in this one by leveling a kill onto Milky Man. Now they have to play around the mega HP pack. That is the advantage Gigantti will have over Morningstars in terms of healing as they wait for reinforcements to come in, which will happen a lot faster than what Malzahsa can deal with. Because surely Milky Man will be able to get there before the spawn thing does of Malzahsa.
Yeah, Malzahasa's still leading in ult percentage for that Earth Shatter, but now Gigantti want to get aggressive with this rally, but immediately Morningstar's already backing off.
They scatter like rats. You're unable to lock him down. Malzahsa tries to get bullied. The barrier comes in to keep him up and leaves booped around. That's 100 energy for Davin. You can see how much it's doing as that Transcendence has to come in. Zappe will be able to use his one. He has to use it because he's just forced into a corner here. Shadow being dropped down right on top of Milky Man. The barrier will deny it. The charge comes in afterwards. They're still going to find him. Grab even tried to stop that charge coming in as Morningstars flip this back around and retain control and deflect Team Gigantti's offense.
Lilbo may have actually just lost that fight for Team Gigantti, no lie. By booping Malzahsa over there, it shortens the time for him to knock Milky Man into a wall and cause that 300 damage from the charge. So they're able to finish him off much quicker than the Transcendence can come out. And then it opens up an avenue to have the shield versus Davin's Graviton versus no shield on the side of Team Gigantti to block for Hardest when he pulls his Graviton out. Now Hardest at a high charge, David has to reset, start from zero all over again.
He might be able to get some free charge off a shadow from Milky Man as they press into Morningstars. There's that self-destruct. Lilbo's already found Mouse. Self-destruct won't find anyone. Norma Discord on him. Immediately Milky Man goes down. A case of Tinnitus from Dreedro and won't get anyone with that Earth Shatter. This is Morningstars, yet again, holding their own, digging their heels in. They don't want to be moved from point A until Dreedro just evaporated by the laser beam from David, who then gets burnt out by Hardest. He's got the high energy. He's going to be the hardest carry for Morningstars, and he just melts everyone on the point. Hardest doing the deed for Morningstars, and will keep their time bank looking healthier by the second.
They've been vaporized. This is like an episode of Star Trek. Christ alive, Hardest has evolved. He has absolutely evolved right now. He is playing so different to how he was in group stage. He looks terrifying. Davin is starting to look just worse and worse by comparison to Hardest. Already Hardest shoots his grab. Davin is still behind, not used his second one as of yet, and Hardest is already near towards his another one here.
The luxury of staying alive, he maintains his energy. He's going to be building that charge so much faster as Malzahsa sitting on that shatter, waiting for him to just jump into his territory and take him out immediately. Does not want to give him a nice welcome gift. Milky Man getting bullied around, wants to get that shield out of the way, does not want to shut down. He knows there's no barrier. This could be a good time for Morningstars to enact their master plan. But Gigantti, they're playing passively. They know they can't step into this trap. There's that Graviton surge. Transcendence has to answer. Isolating charge. Hardest going for a ride as Milky Man takes him out of the map. And now they're dealing with that energy. And he goes down at 94%. No grab in this rotation. There's self-destruct. No one should go down here. Gigantti have to use this man advantage, otherwise they will not capture point A. Looking for the charge from Malzahsa, won't find anyone, but it does get him to safety. Davin then takes out Leaf. He's sitting at high charge himself now. Time to do what Hardest did to them as he's looking to shred him through. Dreedro gets away on a sliver of HP. The slippery, greasy frog that he is as Malzahsa is finally murdered on the point. Gigantti will get the point A capture, but they will certainly not be matching Morningstar's time bank.
Though, last time Team Gigantti's push was extremely quick, the major differences here, though, is they don't have that Graviton online. Morningstars have theirs. Ideally, though, they really just want to rush into Team Gigantti knowing they have no Transcendence. They can probably just win this fight out with a well-timed sound barrier from Dreedro.
Shatter completely negated. There's the sound barriers being traded straight up, and Milky Man just going to go down. The reinforcements weren't there, and the momentum certainly won't be for Team Gigantti.
And now because they've restabilized here, and Team Gigantti no longer have that massive pressure from running from point A to point B with that snowball, now Morningstars can take these positions where they can get early ultimate charge as Team Gigantti try and walk the point. Gigantti, they don't have a Shatter, they do have a Graviton and a Self-Destruct, but that might not be enough to close out this fight quickly without the Shatter to lay everyone on their backs. Morningstars, however, have so many tools to work with this next engagement, the major one being Dragon Eddy's Self-Destruct.
Looking to get that out whenever he can. Grabs on Surge. Going to be coming out here from Davin. He will stun up immediately afterwards. Davin finds 2, but Dragon Eddy finds 3! He's saving the team, Blank, as Morningstars will push him into sub-1 minute territory. This is getting dire for Team Gigantti. Because you know what, Blank? If they do this in overtime, look at Morningstars' time. They can't win the map. The best they can hope for is a draw if they complete.
They will go to match point here, and Dragon Eddy's kept them in these moments with such clutch plays, and people have had their eyes on this guy since the World Cup where he played for Italy there. His performance was solid, and he's showing that here on Morningstars right now.
On the back line, Zappe just being forced out a little bit by Dragon Eddy. Zappis has found Exoraf though, so he did what Dragon Eddy couldn't in this instant. He finds a second and a third! Zappis doesn't want to be going it out here, and he may have the time to do this if they just clean it up and get Dritro, get this point going. 13 seconds, they're running against the clock. If they can do it with just 1 second, they will stay alive. Exoraf comes in with the Wrecking Ball. It's all about stall for Morningstars here. Everything they've got. The May comes in, you can't let Malzahsa touch. If you do, it's all over. Overtime has been triggered. Gigantti, they're only going to get a draw. If they do that, they stay alive and negate the series win here. They're going to have to full hold Morningstars on point A to make that happen.
They're going to have 1 minute 25. One push at best here, Tridd. It all comes down to this. The major question we've had during the group stage of this season is, can Morningstars perform under pressure? They look like a completely new team in playoffs. Hardest playing extremely well. Malzahsa fixing a lot of his issues. But now they have to make it during this time where they're feeling the weight of playoffs behind them. It's such a short amount of time as well to do it.
1 minute 25 on the clock, and Morningstars, like you said, on the offense, 33%, separates them from series points, and they can go to semi-finals. We talked about how we get the finals rematch of Gigantti versus Zander titles. But I think Morningstars want AT in the semi-finals because they have an axe to grind with them. AT dramatically kicked them out of the Season 3 playoffs in quarterfinals, 3-0, easy clap for AT. That was not the dream. That was not the play for Morningstars. Revenge could be the dish that's served up as the main course, but you need to get through the slightly difficult appetizer of Team Gigantti.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bigger starter than you asked for or expected. But Morningstars, yeah, you may well be right there, Tridd, that Revenge, spurring them on. Exoraf back onto the Ana. I agree with this. Probably in this time bank, you're not going to find yourself a Transcendence. And if you can end a fight early with a clutch Ana nade like this one, which is definitely going to go onto the hut on the high ground, you can potentially go for a big pick here.
The bubble keeps it out of play, though. It will heal up Malzahsa, thankfully, given that boost. So not a total loss, but it won't get the denial you were looking for here. 1 minute on the clock, 33%. As they're building towards those ultimates. Milky Man is on the Winston to contest Malzahsa, who dives into the backline with the bubble, and immediately the counter dive comes in. The bubbles, they're like a Venn diagram, trying to figure out where the damage is. And Milky takes out Malzahsa. This is not looking good for Morningstars. They can get another pick here. They put him into dire straits as Milky Man finds the second onto Leaf and forces them off the point. Any member of Morningstars that can get back to the spawn room is doing it right now. Exoraf will have that nano boost for the final attempt.
I love what Team Gigantti are doing here is they're understanding that a lot of these engages are coming down to Malzahsa finding Facility in the backline. So Milky Man is holding onto the leap, playing counter dive instead. You saw Facility immediately approach Malzahsa and shield bash him. But yeah, the major things here is how well does Lilbo use his sound barrier to curb the aggression coming out from the nano boost that's surely going to go onto Malzahsa.
You have to give it over to someone fast. 10 seconds remaining. You're going to enter overtime. Sound barrier used aggressively by Team Gigantti. They don't want to give him the luxury. Nano boost applied to Malzahsa, but Facility is taking out Exoraf just a fraction too late. The Primal Rage has to come out because the nano boost is about to end, and only one person can stall the point. Self-destruct with a bit of a Hail Mary from Dragon Eddy, but it won't find anyone. Milky Man has to return with Primal Rage of his own as Dritro slapped around. There's that Transcendence, trying to cut off the healing with the bubble. Won't be successful. Malzahsa's got no gas in the tank as Zappe finds out hardest. You're taking down one, you're taking down two, you're taking down three. The draw's coming in for Team Gigantti. This just keeps the series alive even longer. We have definitely got a map 5 coming for you.
This is a huge series on the hands for us right now. It is crazy the way that Team Gigantti continue to stay in this match, despite such major mistakes coming out from them. But when the pressure comes down, this is when coals are turned into diamonds, and that's exactly what Team Gigantti are doing right now. Under pressure, Zappers performs excellently. So does Davin, so does Milky Man. And for them to change up their playstyle in that very final point where they just switch immediately off to counter dive is very impressive, to say the least. The synergy from this team that has been together for a very long time now is really starting to show.
It's the experience as well. We talked about it in the pre-game. The ability to adapt on the fly with no flaws here, with no second guessing. You're just going to go for the counter dive instead. You won't let that nano boosted Winston mess up your plans again. We're going to go to a quick break. We come back. We've got an escort map waiting for you. Welcome back, everyone. Rialto coming on your screens very quickly. Just going to clarify the format for a couple of you. It is best of 5, but it is first to 3. So that Rialto draw doesn't really affect the amount of maps we have to play.
Come on.
Well, not Rialto draw. You can't draw on Rialto. That was the point I was going to make next. You got the tie on Volskaya Industries. So currently the scorelines are 1 apiece. It is first to 3 map wins. Can't tie an escort unless you can in very specific instances that rarely happen in competitive play, let's be honest. Then you got a control coming up next for map number 5. Both these maps realistically won't be drawn. If they trade maps again, map number 6, gonna be another control map, the one we haven't played from our map pool so far, and that will definitively seal the deal. We make it to map 6, probably one of the closest quarterfinals we've had from the past year and this year.
Yeah, this is a game that contends with some of the huge Overwatch League games we've seen so far. Reminds me very much of the Vancouver versus Shock game, where it was so very close. Both teams on the level, on par with each other, but one player just standing out. For me at the moment, on Shock, Sinatra, on Morning Stars, it's hardest. It's much of the same. Sinatra had some issues in stage 1 where maybe the positioning was a little, season 1 where the position was maybe a little bit off, but now, as we're seeing from Morning Stars, hardest is locked that up just like Sinatra, and is performing so well, outputting so much DPS. It's incredible to see. But this matchup here, Team Gigantti, I'm fairly certain are favored here, Tridd. Escort is one of the better map types for them, whereas Morning Stars are a little bit more middling. And Rialto is the map that Team Gigantti consistently win and won in group stages. So they're going to take very much advantage of these corner sight lines. And with the geometry on Rialto, it means that Dridro is going to have a difficult time moving through the small choke there to get the boops that have been so monumental in bringing Milky Man down.
Just empowered by the new patch that's changed that sound rate for them. And one thing to note here, Malzasa going on to the Winston this time around, so we had a lot of fun with that on Volskaya Industries, and he doesn't want the party train to stop, bringing it over to Rialto with him, and wants to give everyone on Team Gigantti a little bit of a zap.
So they circumvent the corners that Team Gigantti are holding by going on the high ground. For the moment, they're not really doing too much, but there comes the dive. Really good onto the podium.
They separate Milky Man from the rest of the team, and they go in there with the reposition. He's just able to be picked off again as the rest of Morning Stars gladly take that free victory, or that free suit of armor to walk back to their camp. As Zappe will answer with a D-Mech onto Dragon 8. Malzasa may have been off more than he should, but he's kept alive by his team until Facility comes in with that rocket flare whip. Zappe will stall in the payload as long as he can. Will get picked off here as Hardest is trying to find a way to burn through and utilize this 100 energy he's currently sat on, because he wants to just burn through Milky Man, but it's ultimately his powerful fists that just end Milky Man's life again, who's only got 45% from 2 lives so far. Morning Stars aren't having any nonsense as they push it round to point A.
No, and really the main mentality here for Morning Stars at the moment is we send Malzasa in, he enables us to create space and take down Milky Man, and now that the shield isn't in the way, you just get complete and just unnegated damage coming out from Hardest.
Oh my god, thankfully he didn't get any of the environmentals there, but that was the intent. He wanted to get the charge. Oh, bye, Davin. Got his Graviton Surge out before he died, thankfully, as the self-destruct will deal with Hardest. So no Zarya's on the map. Sound barrier comes out. Dridro sniped out of the sky, denying the sound barrier for Morning Stars as well. This is Gigantti's fight. What a sharpshooter Milky Man turns out to be.
Really, really well played. An absolute sniper coming out from Milky Man. Really unfortunate for Lilbo, which it could have actually turned that fight very sour very quickly, was the fact that he sound barriered whilst inside of Malzasa's shield. And obviously because the shield LOS's the sound barrier, only 2 players received that, including himself and Milky Man. That 700 overshield. That could have gone really badly for them. But now they have the Shatter online. Malzasa makes the switch over to the Rhine right now so he can go for the big block.
Well, he's going to have to try and pull that one out, because if Milky Man gets this shattered, that's another lost fight for you. Pop in the rally, taking the fight to him. Barriers used to stop that from happening. Self-destruct over the top, finds Zappe. There goes Shatter committed. He will just hit Malzasa in the back. Facility takes him out. The boot denies it, but keeps him in the fight still. Getting that passive healing as Dridro wants to aggress onto him. They're forcing him back as best they can. That self-destruct's going to clear some space, allow Milky Man to breathe. Zappis, then they take out 2, and a D-Mech. Gigantti force Morning Stars to a sub-1-minute time bank.
This seems to be a reoccurring problem, though, for Morningstars, is that when Leaf pops the rally, they kind of half commit to these fights and then back out a little bit, leaving Dreidra high and dry on the other side where he's trying to back out.
That seems like a knee-jerk reaction to Leaf's typical playstyle, where we always knew him as this Brigitte who ran at the back line, and you would have to follow up to him. Maybe that's just them saying, we can't do that anymore, let's temper our aggression a bit, and it might be a fault for them.
Perhaps, yeah, indeed. I mean, they seem to have put a lot of stock in playing much more carefully here, but now they're going to have the Transcendence online should they want to try and force this fight out from Team Gigantti. Davin nowhere near his Graviton as of yet, and there goes on Hardest unleashing
Hardest is just going to sink one into Team Gigantti. The charge tries to separate out the fight, won't find a kill. There's that shadow from Malzahsa, and everyone's on their back. Sound barrier is keeping him up for now. Can they maintain that as the Transcendence sweeps in from Exo-Wrath to try and keep Morningstars alive? They're contending over the point. There's the shadow in return. Malzahsa and another of his colleagues, Dreidra, taking a nap. There's the charge on Milky Man, forced out. Armor Pack keeps him up, but they've isolated themselves. And Malzahsa, Leaf's gone down as well. The boot won't send him flying, but you got Dreidra on the back line just being a nuisance for the team. It's in overtime. Morningstars have lost too many members. Gigantti end the line, but just shy of point A.
And this is the difference, is that Leaf is just unable to get in and find that work, because there's not too much fallout coming out from Morningstars there. Whereas on the other side, Visility, after taking so many casualties earlier on in this series, seems to have been playing much more towards the back in his backline. So whenever Malzahsa's doing this thing where he's completely changed it up. Before he was being bullied, but now he is the bully. As soon as he moves into the backline, Visility's always there.
He went through puberty. He had a growth spurt.
Yeah, he did. And he's like 6'5" now. But Malzahsa goes a little bit too deep now, and I think he needs to temper that aggression a little bit, because it is bringing Morningstars down. You can rely on Hardest now with that massive amount of damage we saw at the very beginning of Rialto come out. But Zuppe, we've got to mention this guy again, because he has been a very quiet hero on the side of Team Gigantti. Transcendences are usually very good, and you hardly ever, if ever, see him go down at the beginning of a fight, continuously putting out that huge DPS.
Sometimes to the detriment of his team, just Volskaya point A.
Yeah, true.
Staying alive,
he goes down all the way to the end.
Staying alive a little bit too long to the detriment of Gigantti, but that's more about Morningstars' selection of their targets and the stall coming in. Gigantti's offense now don't have a very high benchmark to hit here. Just basically capture point A in 4 minutes, and you're on scot-free to series point, and you got one more map. It's a control map. You didn't win that first one, but that's fine. We'll ignore that and move on to another one. Fortunately, you don't get the choice, though. It'll be Morningstars in that instance who choose that control map.
But now this is the thing, is that we've seen so many close holds from both these teams in this series. This is another potentiality here. Do we see Morningstars hold on point A of Rialto again? They make the switch-ups. They're putting Malzahsa on the Winston. As we know, in this new patch right now, Winston's Tesla Cannon now does a lot more damage to shield and in turn, to armor, and in turn actually gets that Primal Rage much quicker, so he's providing even more value to the team.
Giving him a bit of a hosing, then jumps out straight away, much like the people who try and harass you at the stops at cars. Give you a good spray of your windscreen and try and get some money out of you, but they run away ultimately. He jumps back in, and there's the punish again. They're trying to get him. Hardest has found Zuppe while they're focused on one thing. The backhand comes in. Gigantti then able to deal with Leaf and Malzahsa, kind of mixing them two together. And then Hardest has to hide on this high ground. 112 HP. He's got a lot of charge, but he wants to escape with this. You don't want to be going down here. He's trying to go around behind him, though. Try and keep themselves alive. And
Dreid's going to squat him.
Dreid's going to try and get him out of there. I don't know if he's going to be successful, as Gigantti have just ram-raided that health pack room. They do not want him to come out of that room.
Yeah, they understood that they need to get that charge down, because in the neutral fights, Hardest is extremely strong, but already 2 minutes 57, and we're approaching this end goal. But as we know, underneath this bridge is very hard to attack, because it doesn't provide you many lines of flanks here for them. So they have to rely on a really good coordinated play.
They have so much time to play with, but Morningstars want to change that back with a nano boost onto Malzahsa, and the Graviton Surge committed by Hardest. Just going to back off. They only found one with all those ults committed. Team Gigantti's going to come back with the full platter, and they still have 2 minutes 20 on the clock to do it. This is not looking good for Morningstars.
This is just patience play from Team Gigantti. They've seen this playstyle all the way from Season 3, is that they will be patient with their ult economy and come back and just all press Q or smack their heads against the keyboard.
Well, they smacked their heads against the keyboard, and it just didn't work out for them. Milky Man Shadow not coming in here. Self-destruct over the top. Malzahsa goes for a charge. No one caught out by this one.
Oh no!
The back cap!
Lil Mo, you beast!
The aggression was their downfall. They wanted to take the fight to them. They didn't want to give him any breathing room. And they just completely forgot about Lil Bo. He's just able to walk that one in. Unbelievable.
I mean, I didn't see him anywhere, and I don't think the rest of...
I don't think they did either.
I mean, Morningstars didn't see it either. I'm just as surprised as Morningstars probably are right now. And C9s have plagued them throughout the season as well with their C9 versus 1 point on the very final control map. But Gigantti will take it there.
You're not supposed to C9 in playoffs. That's the problem.
No.
You're just not supposed to do it. And that puts Gigantti to series
He has like
points.
a celebration soundbar as well at the end. He was like,
He may
don't
as
need
well.
this anymore.
He was like, they're so distracted with my team. They're going to run to them and take the fight to them. They completely forgot about the payload.
Incredible.
Unbelievable scenes. We're going to take a quick break, try and gain some semblance of sanity, and come back for what could be the final map. Gigantti are on series point. Do not go anywhere. Well, you know, London Spitfire, they may be in the Overwatch League, but we got our C9s here with, well, not ironically, not even their academy team playing.
No.
That's going to be Team Gigantti taking it to series points. So it means we're going to a 5th control map, or 2nd control map. It will be our 5th map. If this then goes over to Morning Stars, we'll then go to a 3rd control map, the 6th map of the series, because it is 1st to 3 wins. It is Morning Stars' choice. They are the loser of the previous map, so they get to choose which control map we go onto. We're having some speculation here. It's the bottom of the 9th, Blank. They need to make in that substitution. There's a map they could do it on.
Yep, I called it. I thought it would be Nepal here. This is what they played versus Hurricanes. They pulled out KSP on the Widowmaker. I hope we see KSP in here, but also this map makes sense because we've seen Malzahar playing a lot of the Winston. He seems very comfortable on that. On Sanctum, Winston is extremely important. So this is basically Morningstar's best bet on control, but we still need to go to Oasis. But even that provides a lot of opportunities for KSP to pop off with maps that have big sightlines, long sightlines like City Center. But first off, we need to see if KSP's in the roster.
It does. We are getting ahead of ourselves. We are assuming that the DPS superstar of Morning Stars will make an appearance. And
I just want to see my boy.
Yeah, you got to see your boy. UK lad, coming out here on this one. But we got to, like you said, hardest. He's had a good match so far. He's been playing fantastically. One of the shining stars of the Morning Stars. And he's on a hot streak. Let's keep him in here. See what you can do. You can still work around this Zarya-focused team on Nepal. And Gigantti, they're playing into this one. They played this map before. They had to have done it in our rotation of maps. They know what to do on Nepal. They are 2 rounds away from getting themselves a ticket to the semifinals and having a Season 3 finals rematch against AT. They just need to get out of the way of Morning Stars. And maybe the 900 IQ players we alluded to might be coming out here for MS.
Yeah, Team Gigantti might be wanting to play something a little bit more free orientated, but looks like we are going over to Village here, which is why you do see Zappis pulling out the May. Very effective on Village because every single choke point is 100% wallable, which can create very awkward situations. And specifically for Hardest, when he was on the Zarya, he's not on it here, he had a lot of difficulties where he was getting caught out. Major things for me right now is how well do Morning Stars play the slow game, and can they take control of this point effectively? As soon as they lose on this composition, they will have to swap off, just solely on the fact that retake with the Fire and the Ash is very difficult.
Dragon League going over to the Diva earlier than we expected him to do so in this composition in particular. We typically see the quad. We typically see a quad DPS composition coming out, but they're going for a 2-2-2 here for different flavor. Sleep's going to be up in the sky. That first cap going over from that aggressive position. Team Gigantti are moving in. The coach gun not working out in there. Protected barrier, shutting that one down. As they move in for a fast retake here, and Morning Stars need to chip away at this composition. They're happy to concede the point, but they need to make sure they retake it quite fast.
Yeah, the whole point of the composition for Gigantti is they can take the point easy. The way that Morning Stars win this is that they go for quick flips on the point and always are ahead in percentage.
They're not currently in that position, and Milky Man's already removed Exoraf from the field.
Oh.
So this is not working out for Morning Stars. I think you go here for a switch and try and match them on the goats.
Yep, now is the time to switch back over to the free. Morning Stars already have Exoraf on the Zenyatta already, so that works out well for them because he is going to have a nice chunk of charge towards the Transcendence.
I do feel that the Diva and the Zenyatta were insurance picks potentially here. Knowing that they'd have to make the change, they still have some ult charge in their bank.
That is extremely important for them as well, especially in the economy game right here, and with Gigantti already at 43%.
But they're going to have to struggle to win these fights here as the Coalescence already being used from
Good disengage.
Zappe. Yeah, fantastic disengagement. Now the onus is on Zappe to go and change off to the Zenyatta to match what Exoraf is going to be able to do. He's about to get a Trams online, and there's not going to be that ultimate to match him. He's going to have to save it for Davin's grab, which is coming online very shortly. The Hardest is hot on his heels with ult charge. He might be able to match him soon.
Yeah, and specifically here, Malzahar does very well versus the Winston, but already there's a Primal Rage in the mix.
He's just battering them into the corners of the point, holding it in there. 70% on the board as Davin's already found Dragon Eddie. He did commit a self-destruct to try and make that work as Vigility finds Leaf. This is final fight territory for Team Gigantti. Morningstars have just crumbled on map 5 so far.
Yeah, Morningstars are so far behind in control percentage. Even if they do manage to flip here, they have to do it with minimal tools so that they ensure that they have the tools remaining for the long run as you work your way up towards 99%, because they cannot lose control of the point once. First, they have to touch it.
They're going to run in here. Malzasa's gone over to that Reinhardt. Milky Man's already found Tridd. How are you getting on the point? You got on there, but where's your healing? The Transcendence has to come out. Dragon, and he tries and answers onto Davin. Does a good job. The Coalescence comes out from Zappe. The Shatter comes down from Milky Man and lines them all up for a ruddy good hosing. Team Gigantti burn through Morningstars. They're going to take round number 1 and put a foot forward, and they're one step closer to the semi-finals.
100-8 there. Again, this issue we noticed with Dredro in the group stage where he is out of position a little bit too often, going for these aggressive boops, and sure, it's paid dividends towards the beginning of this series, but now, where Milky Man, he's caught wind of it, he turns around, just smacks him in the face and puts him down, essentially. Morningstars come to that fight without a crucial ultimate on side, which is the sound barrier, which they needed when that Earthshatter ultimately came out from Milky Man. Now we go over to Sanctum. This is a map where you really wanted to have KSP in on the Widowmaker, but instead you're going to have to make do with what you've got. We're more than likely going to see Malzasa moving over to the Winston, but if they can take early control percentage with the Orisa and hold on, it's quite good for holding. But first, if they have a situation like before, where they immediately get removed from the point, it just swings Team Gigantti in a heavy ultimate lead.
That's what they're looking to get themselves in position to do. They got Milky Man on that Winston, so he's going to be able to hit up the back line of Morningstars with ease. They're playing it slow. They spotted something they don't like, and they're buying themselves some more time before they emerge onto the point. You will have to deal with Orisa in the back, and they're just playing defensively. They just need to get a tiptoe on that point and contest it. Looking to emerge shortly.
Yeah, but now they have control of the point. This is the big thing, especially for the Orisa here. But Hardest needs to output the damage. And here comes the flank from Vigility, really zoning away from Hardest from any of these sightlines he wants to take.
It's Vigility and Davin getting up in the grills of Morningstars. Hardest to get that first kill, punishing the flank. You've now lost your damage threat. As Milky Man then gets burnt down, there wasn't a bubble to save him in sight. Dredro is trying his best for the boops and the environmental kills. They don't need it though. Hardest has picked up Attack Visor, and he's ready to unload on Team Gigantti's next offense.
Dredro already being much less problematic for his team, takes a very good positioning on the side there, which not only pressures the enemy team to come near to them, but it also gives environmental hazard pressure. Does a really good job with his healing, keeps his team very much healthy, and now it's very difficult for them to retake the point, and Hardest can get himself in a position to unleash the attack visor from behind.
He's on the flank. He's looking for something. Not going to pop it yet. Holding on to the ultimate. Now is not the time. As they get that Primal Rage out from Milky Man. He slaps Malzasa, who was able to get the Supercharger online. His Hardest opens up with the attack visor. But Morningstars just casually, just in control at all times, will make sure that they maintain percentage of the point. And Team Gigantti, committing a few ults, don't find the retake.
Now Team Gigantti, however, they have a very consistent way of winning this next fight. It's called having 6 ultimates, well 5 ultimates here right now. They can easily nano boost the Winston, create a lot of pressure and space, and then throw in the Zappis bomb afterwards, which is going to create a lot of havoc in the backline.
That's exactly where Milky Man's gone. They have to turn him, but he got nicely. Oh no, he's not! Got the jump! It was on cooldown. Dredro taking the nano boost to an early grave. There's that Graviton Surge. Transcendence to match from Exo. Raffles self-destruct. Thrown into the mix. Finds Leaf. They're denying the healing on Malzasa, but there's not the aggression to finish up and follow up on that to make sure he dies. Dragon is about to lose that mech. Gigantti in a good position for the retake here, despite losing Milky Man and the nano boost early. They're going to get it. 80%. Final fight territory for Morningstars when the flip will eventually come in.
Yeah, this is okay. Malzasa and Dredro can stall for a very long time. They just need to get it to 85%. And now it's okay. You're in a position where now, if anyone dies on the side of Team Gigantti in this next retake from Morningstars, then whoever comes back to the point last, the point will already be in overtime. So Morningstars can take an advantageous fight. They know they have to make the switches right now, so they will be slightly behind in ult charge. So you're more than likely going to see 2 more fights here before Morningstars are able to flip. So it's up to Team Gigantti to play this next fight well. But the big question is, can Zuppe match charge to Hardest before he gets this grab?
Well, we're going to have to worry about Davin's Graviton Surge, because Exaraf has just been obliterated. He's not going to catch up with the ult charge himself, so that's the way that Zenyatta Zarya matchup might be looking here. They put the Primal Rage and Milky Man, trap him in the corner, might even get him upstairs into safety by accident. Dragon Leaf found Zappis, and that's fine, but you're still losing a lot of members here as Milky Man just going to use this Tesla Cannon in a confined space. It burns through them, and the grab brings them even closer together. They can hug themselves while they're being electrocuted and pass the current through. 40% and charging. They've still got a while to go, though.
That's absolutely fine for Morningstars. They're very, very happy with that one. They're coming towards both supportive ultimates. Davin no longer has a grab, so we're going to see some more offensive supportive ultimates used here with the Sound Barrier and the Transcendence. So they forced Team Gigantti to overcommit in that last fight, and now Morningstars, during the midst of this next engagement, they're going to get a lot of the crucial ultimates they need to have online to finish this one out, like the Graviton.
They're going to emerge with the Sound Barrier straight onto the point as Dredro amps them through there. Davin's already gone down. This is not looking good for Gigantti as Facility's already found Malzahsa. And yet again, Dredro with the boots. He's going to jump back in with that Primal Rage. The Transcendence is used in the Hell in the Cell match that's been created as Leaf takes out Zappis. You got Hardest with a grab if he needs it. Going to pull him in. There's the Transcendence response. As expected, Lilbo jumps in there to get the healing from that Transcendence.
Oh, bye-bye!
Zappe going for the long drop down. Morningstar's very much in control. They just need to get the capture, get the flip at 93%. If there's some miraculous retake, there's a potential here to win, but they're stalling out the fight too long. Morningstars are not letting them anywhere near this one. We are going to end this map on Shrine.
Well, now this is a map where it swings back in the favor of Gigantti. We saw there a lot of the moments where really Morningstars are able to succeed is with some interesting looks, and also Dredro having that environmental hazard to use to his advantage, getting a lot of amazing clutch boots, which we actually saw in that game versus Shoes Money Crew, where he was able to knock 2 players down the hole on King's Row C to secure that map win. Now, without that advantage on side, you come over to Shrine, which is very classically a free map where you brawl in the center here. Do we see something interesting coming out from Morningstars? That's the question.
Question that I want answered. You got to pull it out. Bottom of the ninth, like we said, they're on series points. Gigantti win this round. They book their tickets, and we could potentially see Morningstars come in Season 2 rather than finish off the playoffs and get to that Atlantic Showdown. You're completely right though, Blank. Leafs Doomfist is the thing of legends, and we get to see it unleashed on Team Gigantti.
Yeah, all the way back from Gamer's Origin when this guy originally played it and kind of coined this high-tech Doomfist, as we're already seeing with that little cheeky little bit of skill that he's showing us. But Morningstars with this composition, it's all about taking favorable stat lines for themselves, splitting up Team Gigantti. But a lot of it lies upon Dragon Eddy right now. He needs to get these EMPs out quickly to end these fights once they go for quite a long time.
Leaf actually denied the contest there as he punched Milky Man out off of the point before he could get the stall in there. Fantastic play already, and the pile driver was big from Malzahsa. Throwing the Bardic Grenade as well. Gigantti not hoping hell of winning in that particular engagement, but now they're on the point. They want to move back into this one. Davin's been hacked up, so no barriers to get him to a high charge to deal that damage as Leaf goes in. Goes straight back out afterwards. Malzahsa's in there with the Wrecking Ball. You know how it is. But Zappe's they're going to clear him out. Lilbo's the first victim. He feels the fist. EMP comes in so early from Dragon Eddy. The Hardest misses out on the tack visor. It gets out, but Zappe just shuts him down. Team Gigantti are having none of this nonsense. They're locking down the point and getting the flip nice and early.
Yeah, most likely Morningstars are going to have to switch here over to the Rhine Goats, but they're going to try and stall it out as much as possible, even using the sound barrier.
They're committing a lot here. They think they can get this back. They've hacked up Zappis, so he can't have a hope of getting back his mech. Facility's already taken out Dragon Eddy. Dredro's come down. I'm not sure if Morningstar's getting value out of that sound barrier. As Leaf's going to commit ults as well. They have to change off here. Davin's still killing them though. Like, they're not getting anything for their ult.
He's nano boosting.
The nano boost is still going. But Davin takes him out. They're burning ults and they're going to keep this one alive. Gigantti did get the flip, but at what cost, Blank? At what cost?
That was a long fight, much longer than we expected to go for. And 62%, that is a sizable chunk of control percentage, especially when you force out a lot from Team Gigantti, the bomb and the nano boost. Coming to this next one, Hardest just has to build up towards a Graviton. There is no Zenyatta on side with the Transcendence stop it. They can go for a retake around about 60% here.
Milky Man drops down with Tesla Cannon, has to find more time to stay alive. There's that Primal Rage. Boots up, he's going for a ride. He's dropping down from above, he's going up again. I'm not sure what he's trying to achieve here, Blank. I'm not going to lie.
is just getting a bird's eye view of them, relaying information back to the team.
The young information scouting Primal Rage as they move towards the Graviton Surge. Healing shut down for the most part by good nade by Zappe, so they're going to start matching that map percentage. Team Gigantti pushing Morning Stars to a position where they're losing, and now this is unfortunate for Dragon Eddie. He's just being forced back constantly. There's that burn. Get a nice stall out there. They are definitely going to match the percentage now.
Yeah, when I said that Morning Stars would go for a 60% flip, I didn't expect Team Gigantti to be able to hold on for so many ultimates, and I think that's a lot of it's down to Zappe with this Ana. Provides an excellent bio grenade into the Graviton, meaning no one can be healed up in that situation with all the healing heroes on side. And now Team Gigantti come with this next one with a lot of things to work with. Morning Stars is getting desperate now.
Give Milky Man a nano boost, let him charge away. He goes in for the charge. It's just going to hit the pillar, ending shortly. Healing's been denied, so they have to boop him back here. Otherwise, Malzahsa would have gone down early. Nice disengage from Morning Stars to avoid that potent combination, and they don't even give Milky Man a lot of charge.
But now it's do or die time. We saw a similar thing on Village. And Morning Stars, this time they have to close it out, Tridd.
They've got that rally. That's the thing to kick things off. Nice charge from Malzahsa. Bio grenade's going to shut it down as Lee takes out Milky Man. He's got a shadow to drop. He's not going to find anyone, but they've already lost their main tank as they're trying to push into Team Gigantti as they're pressing the advantage as much as they can. Self-destruct has been used there. Zappos has to hide. Taken out by Lee before he can remake. Facility's then going to take out Dragon Eddie. Graviton and Transcendence used very aggressively by Morning Stars to seal the deal, and I think they've done enough to do just that. Davin will have a Graviton Surge. Lilbo will have that sound barrier for the retake. One fight will secure Team Gigantti this map.
And I don't think they needed that Transcendence from Morning Stars. That could be the killer for them. They were locked up by Hardest's Grav. There was no way that any follow-up was going to come out after that, so the Transcendence doesn't really do anything there. But now it opens up for Davin in this next fight. They can engage with the sound barrier, get a favorable position for Davin to drop down the Grav. A lot of this comes down to Dragon Eddie. He almost has to eat this Graviton if they want to succeed in this next fight.
We haven't seen a lot of eating Gravs this series at all, which is uncharacteristic. Now's the time to open your gullet and scoff down a Graviton Surge Dragon Eddie. But we can't put it all on his shoulders. The team needs to come out. The grab lands successfully. There's the nano boost on to the Reinhardt as he swings through, looking for that Earth Shatter. The sound barrier has to come out from Tridd. No one's gone down. There's the Earth Shatter down. It finds two. It's Malz and Hardest, but Malzahsa is going to have an Earth Shatter of his own to use. He clutches out. Just Zappos for now. The charge comes in. Milky Man doesn't pin, but he does knock around the fight a little bit more. Overtime's in effect. The winner of this fight extends this series or closes it out for Team
Grab
Gigantti.
available.
Davin has godly. Drops down another grab for Hardest as he clears out two.
They're succeeding!
Makes that three. They now have the advantage. Zappos tries to swing it back as best as he can. That self-destruct on the point might be able to do it here. Tridd flies in from nowhere.
Great sleep.
They sleep onto Hardest. Makes him take a nap. It buys more time. Overtime ticks down so fast. You need to be cautious of it. Do not step off the point. Tridd gets the D-make. Zappos has gone for a ride. They're still contesting the point, but they cannot step off it. Any second will end this match, and Morning Stars maintains control for now. They're in the dominant position as they're looking to find some kills here. Dragon Eddie denied healing. Milky Man so low, has to go off the point. Trace is coming in. Sound barrier comes out from Tridd. That might be the aggression they need. Facility tries to answer with that rally, but I don't think it's going to be enough for them. And now Lilbo comes in with the savior. They want to get this one back. Facility takes out Hardest, moves in, finds himself Malzahsa, looking for more. Got a pulse bomb, has to throw it in onto someone. Gigantti, they come back. They had no right winning the fight, and that's a line we love to say. They've done it as they're going to flip this point over, take over Shrine, close out the series, and get themselves that semi-final against Angry Titans.
Overtime ticks away, and that's it for Morning Stars. Team Gigantti win and coincidentally take the series away from them. In what looked like it should have gone over to Morning Stars, the ultimate, the absolute unit from Zappe gets a sleep onto Hardest, removing him from the action for a solid 5 seconds. That 100 charge goes to waste at the end of that fight where they absolutely need to close it out with that massive amount of damage, 190. But they're unable to do it. And in that moment, we even get to see signature Davin on his Tracer to come and clean them up.
What a fantastic series from Team Gigantti. And the second half all started with that tie on Volskaya Industries. And we looked at the time bank and we were like, okay, Gigantti up against the wall here. Morning Stars have really set a high tempo here. They clap back. They beat the time bank. They force out a draw against the odds on Volskaya Industries and get it to the point where they didn't allow the series point to go to Morning Stars.
Again, it's what I've been saying all series. Gigantti, they play so well under pressure, able to bring it back from situations that look so dire in our eyes that there's no way that we think they can bring it back, but they still do in the end. And Morning Stars unable in these situations where they really need to perform, they can't, and Gigantti stay calm. This team has been together for such a long time. The morale that it takes to remain calm in these situations where it's 1-1 final map. It could go to a 6th map right now, and they still come back. It's incredible.
And I'm looking forward to that semi-final matchup that's on the cards for them. Now, the Season 3 final rematch that we're going to get in the semi-finals. Unfortunately, that is the end of the playoff run for Morning Stars. They will be returning, obviously, for Season 2.
Great.
They're not going to go through that Trials fight, so we will definitely be seeing them again. They do miss out on Atlantic Showdown. That's probably the real kicker here.
Yeah.
Team Gigantti, still alive. But they got an obstacle. Like I said, AT coming in the way. Fantastic performance by Morning Stars, though. I think they really elevated their game, which is a stark contrast, like I said, to the Season 3 performance where they faltered a bit. They didn't have the performance reflective of their dominant group stage season. And I don't think you can say that that team didn't play their hearts out.
No, and it's with the new patch as well, where beam damage is doing even more damage right now. Hardest when he gets to that massive charge. Now that he realizes that perhaps staying on the flanks is not as great, coming back and playing this way, it sets a good precedent for next season.
Absolutely. Lot to build from there. But we praised the man right at the end. And thankfully, we got him here for an interview. We're going to be speaking to Zappe from Team Gigantti. And now, on the cards for you is that semi-final rematch against AT. Is it going to go the way that it went last time?
I don't think so. They got kind of lucky last time, but you don't always get lucky in this game.
No, I say that about the group stage. I was actually referring to the finals, but I forgot you've already played them in the group stage this time around. That's a good point, actually. What was the difference between AT in the Season 3 finals and AT in this season's group stage when you played them?
No, we just kind of had an off day. I don't think they got any better, actually.
Oh.
It's just,
Okay,
it happens sometimes, you know.
So Zappe, that last sleep onto Hardest, probably one of the most clutch things I've ever seen. How did you feel in that moment?
I'm kind of zoned out when I play. I don't really think about those things. I just live in the moment, so to speak of.
Fair play.
Yeah, he did enough for them. The draw on Volskaya obviously didn't go to plan with your second attempt on there. You did well to stall it out, but I felt like when you came around to your defense with that 33% hold against Morning Stars, obviously the game plan is definitely going to be hold them out here. You don't want to obviously give them the victory. When you got that draw, is it bittersweet for you going, we could have won that? Or is it just a relief that you managed to keep the draw yourself?
No, I think it's a bit bittersweet. I think we had like the better comps as well. We just kind of, we haven't really played against what they played, so we didn't play as we should have. And that's why they kind of got the advantage. And it's kind of bittersweet because you realize, oh, we should have done this almost immediately.
Well, it's things to look involved with you. You've got AT coming up next, like we said. And obviously, like you said, you're not going to, don't think luck's going to be on their side this time around. So I wish you the best of luck with that matchup, Zappe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Congratulations on getting to the next stage of the playoffs. There you have it. He's